Hey everybody, it's Gary Lucas, and it's 3 bells in the afternoon watch and time for Popeye Theater. No, that was how the Saturday morning cartoons used to roll out in Syracuse, where I'm from. My probably most primal memory is sitting on a couch in my parents' den next to the Victrola, that's what it was called in those days. That could play 78s even. And watching a black and white TV at 9 a.m., watching Popeye cartoons. Maybe it was a Saturday morning. Perhaps my first actual recovered memory. I must have been 2 or 3 or something. Anyway, it's great to be with you here on Saturday, and which marks a year anniversary of a last show I played in New York. And I posted photos from that show, courtesy of my pal Tomek Chmielewski, who took photos that night at Joe's Pub at the Public Theater, one of my favorite places to play. And it was maybe the last Gods and Monsters show in town with Ernie Brooks, Jason Candler, and Billy Ficca. Plus, I had a variety of special guests. Fei Yang, my partner in crime and my Chinese project, was there to sing some songs with us, as well as Anna Podolak, who is the significant other of Tomas Chmielewski, who did a great Komeda song. Krzysztof Komeda was Roman Polanski and many Polish cinema luminaries' favorite composer back in the day. And it was a song from Rosemary's Baby, which you can probably find on my SoundCloud page if you want to hear a good studio recording of it. And I had a young English person, Pierre Roxanne, who happened to be in town, who had sung with me, where was it, about some time on this tour that Ruben Ty set up for me in the UK the year previously. Was it in Liverpool? I'm trying to remember where I encountered him, but I knew his last name, Roxanne, because of the famous feminist pioneering music critic Lillian Roxanne, who I'd met way back in the day, and that's an unusual name, and it turned out he was indeed related to her. I think that was his auntie. But anyway, so that was Joe's Pub a year ago. Now here we are, a year later. I'm not sure when gigs are coming back anywhere in the world. I hear all sorts of wild disinformation, misinformation, information. It's hard to know what to make of it. I'm told that they just announced in France, for instance, that they're opening venues or festivals that would accommodate 5,000 people, but, you know, the last I heard they were in a serious lockdown situation, so I don't know how these things go up and down and back and forth, but anyway, I'm trying to stay abreast of the teat, as Don Van Vliet said. Yeah, that was one of his great unreleased compositions, which I turned into the music that I'm playing on Cardboard Cutout Sundown from the last Beefheart album. That's right. The original instrumental on guitar is called Abreast of the Teat. And it was one of Don's little jokes, little plays on word. And, don't be ashamed now of body parts. Anybody wants to? Let's just get into it here. that's hot and cold everything. That's a fair description of the reality or surreality or what have you. But I was trying to get it all down there in that little instrumental. And you can hear that on the last Studio Gods and Monsters album, which is here on vinyl. I actually located some copies. Now look at that cover. It's a beautiful cover by my friend Paul McGowan, who's a British designer of the the views. I mean, he's somebody, I think, who's right up there with Banksy, for instance, but not as well known. And this was a labor of love. It went through many permutations. We got all sorts of things going on in this. It's like a very intricate collage of all sorts of stuff. I'm not sure exactly what, but this is that sinister winged messenger, but maybe it's a friendly message. It's like, remember, look, Bullwinkle, a message in a bottle. Are they friendly? One of the things I'm reading and really enjoying these days is this latest collection by Luc Santé, Maybe the People Will Be the Times. And nowhere in the book does it give you the provenance of that title, but those of you who are fans of the wonderful psychedelic 60s band Love, particularly their Forever Changes album, Arthur Lee and Love, they would know this title because it's one of the song titles on a classic album, which I would urge everybody to go out and buy. I think Johnny Eccles, who was the guitarist, is still my friend. The last time I looked, I don't know. People seem to come and go. Sometimes I don't know what algorithms get shown to who or when, but I do a lot of posting, so I can understand if you would get sick of seeing my posts. But I'm trying to play VJ mostly, and try and share stuff with you guys that you might not be aware of or that I find amusing or educational, and hopefully both. Very good coffee from right around the corner here on Hudson and Perry Street. Cafe Panino. Check it out. Delicious. And tell Arshad that Gary and Caroline sent you. Anyway, so I'm reading this book 2 nights ago. Luc Santé is an essayist, quite an accomplished critic based, I guess, in New York, from Jersey by way of Belgium originally, but grew up in New York primarily. I think he went to school at Columbia, I'm pretty sure. He mentions it, and he's been dealing with the detritus of postmodern ennui, let's say the immense refuse heap of postmodernism, of everything under the sun, from the highest to the lowest of culture in all its manifestations, for many years with very informed essays about this and that, music and film and books, mainly in the New York Review of Books, but he wrote for the Village Voice when that was still going, and some other good organizations. He's one of our best essayists. I put him up there with, just off the top of my head, Jeffrey O'Brien, who is a friend, Adam Gopnik, who writes for The New Yorker. I mean, there's some very standout critical thinkers in New York that I've enjoyed reading for years. So anyway, this book, the first half of it, deals a lot with the punk scene as it was developing from around 75, 76 into the post-punk era. Because he was very much, according to this book, a participant, at least as a voyeur, spectator, a dithyrambic spectator, loved to dance, also to reggae music. Speaking of which, the great toaster, Jamaican toaster U-Roy, Winston Beckford, I think is his real name, he just passed away. I ran the Guardian's tribute. I don't think it made the Times yet, but it might. And he was very much an influence on me in my listening when I moved to New York. I got very heavily into reggae by way of The Harder They Come, like most people. But then suddenly all these shops sprung up, and it intermingled with the punk output at the time. So you would see 12-inch slabs of vinyl from Jamaica commingle with the latest, punk emanations from here and abroad, particularly the UK. And so I became a stone reggae lover. I say stone with a smile because that's what I used to do a lot with my friends here. I was quite the stoner and marijuana fancier, but not for years. I don't miss it at all. Frankly, I think I've wasted enough time. Although I did write some good music. I've been through this before, so I won't bore you here. But anyway, so he went to Negril, which was a great club, as I recall, on 7th Street off First Avenue. I used to go. I saw some of the best shows from Jamaica. People like John Holt in a small little club like Negril, really amazing. And, followed reggae music for quite some time. But all this is to say that my old friend Andy Cherto, who comes from Syracuse, has a Saturday early evening show. I'll send a link later under the name Papa Andy. Play I Some Music with Papa Andy. And he's going to do a whole tribute to U-Roy tonight. And I think it's the link is a Syracuse.org music listening channel, so you could tune in to check him out. But he's quite up on it. He lived in Jamaica for a while. Plus, he has the most voluminous dreadlocks I've ever seen on a human being. Before, I guess he's been growing them since, 30, 40, 50 years. But one of the cool things about this book was I'm reading about the Mud Club. And I used to go there in its earliest manifestations. I actually played there with Beefheart the night after John Lennon was shot. We did Irving Plaza and then a late night set at the Mud Club. I might have talked about that. But, I knew it well. I didn't really love it to death as much as some people did. There was no, for a variety of reasons. I'm not very good in crowds, I like to play in front of them. But to be part of this group mindset, look what happened on January 6th. This is Crowds and Power, Elias Canetti. Or, The Man of the Crowd by Edgar Allan Poe. Or there's a very good essay by Wyndham Lewis about the madness of crowds and group mind. Anyway, but I wanted to just read you one page, which at 2 a.m, this really came up. Okay. Normally, the Mud Club, this is page 66, or maybe the people would be the Times by Luc Sante. Normally, the Mud Club is like Grand Central Station. If you're looking for anyone, they're not answering their phone and are absent from their usual haunts, you'll eventually see them come through. You see Jean-Michel Basquiat and Anya Phillips and Lydia Lunch and John Sachs and Lisa Rosen and Fab Five Freddy and John Lurie and Andy Warhol and Sophie Vieille du Temple and Klaus Nomi and Futura 5000 and Felice Rosser and Boris Police Band and Mary Lemley and Lee Quinones and Patty Astor and Christian Hoffman and Adele Bertai and Lady Pink and Ronnie Coutron and Rammelsey and Debbie Harry and Renee Ricard and Anita Sarko on the decks and Howie Montag at the Velvet Rope, the wisest and most poetic doorman ever. Well, I know about 3/4 of these people, or I met them back in the day. And had, more than nodding acquaintanceship with them. But what really caught my mind was Felice Rosser, because I've worked with her in music. She's one of the best singers and bass players I know, and she's had a band called Faith for years, and I'm working on a track right now for this vinyl version, a single vinyl version of the Essential Gary Lucas. I don't know what I'm going to call it, but maybe Find It Amigo. I always like that. So I called Felice, I took a picture of the page and sent it. She said, oh yeah, I know about that. And I went to school with him, so, okay. But at 2 a.m, I got a little free song, to run in their name on the page in the time I'm, intensely trying to midwife this track forward. So enough persiflage. I'm going to go back to playing here. Yeah, that's called Seeing Older Brother Off. And it's a beautiful 40s Chinese pop song as sung by Zhou Xuan. And it's a duet with, I guess the guy was her husband at the time, whose name escapes me at the moment, but I will find it. Anyway, I recorded a beautiful version of this with Feifei Yang. I mean, exquisite. And Feifei just sent me an article that's running right now in the People's Daily, which is the largest newspaper in mainland China, which is mentioning our concert. I appeared on Tuesday out at what was formerly known as the Mall of America and is now called the American Dream Mall. What a what a bunch of words, the American Dream Mall. And spelled M-A-L-L, not M-A-U-L. Okay. The fact is, it was a lot of fun. It wasn't, honestly, a lot of social distancing, but there were a lot of masks. Everybody had a mask on in there, including they have a built-in ski slope that they keep hidden as an attraction in the mall. I don't know how, I can only go up, I'd say 3 stories. But there were an awful lot of kids there, probably out of school or skipping school, with skis, lining up to take this thrill ride in lieu of maybe the real thing. So if you're out in East Rutherford, New Jersey, folks, and you're a ski buff, you know where to go now, okay? They have some other cool things, but they keep it all hidden in the back. And they even had kids riding motorized stuffed animals. I've never seen anything like it. That looked like a lot of fun. And they were zooming all over the mall. And I checked it out because I thought this could be fun. And Fiff and I were thinking about it. But it was something like, I don't know, $10. And, if it was something you could pedal yourself, like a pedicab maybe, I would do it. But I had to be on call for this set. I hope to have a clip to post of our duet because it went really well. We did Teresa Tang's The Moon Represents My Heart, which is a real heart tugger. And that is on the Essential Gary Lucas. You can hear a fine, super fine studio version of this on this particular album. And I was having a discussion with another old music friend, a music industry vet friend of mine. Like, I don't know why you do a CD, because, I mean, they don't even put them in players anymore. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, because they're cheaper and lighter weight to carry around if you're on the road. And I think where there's a will, there's a way. I suppose they could have put a download card. Yeah, what happened, Knitting Factory? But it is available for download and streaming and whatnot. And apparently they're ringing the phone off the hook over there in Greater Williamsburg for the demand for this fine album. It's getting all sorts of reviews. I just got a beautiful review from the Inconsistent Jukebox. Thank you, Barry Snaith, who gave it 5 out of 5. He actually got the CD. You see, people still buy CDs, folks. And who am I to pander to the masses? I mean, that is not my ethos. In fact, you might say it's always been the opposite. I've tried to operate in a marginal zone with that would still be considered, dare I say, commercial, but you have to have a certain finely attuned set of ears to hear it, like a dog. That's my market, is like sharp-eared dogs everywhere. I love them. They come running to me whenever I go outside to them. The dog's best friend. So, how much time do we have left? I think I will play one more. I'll tune it up. just to say Caroline just got the first jab just now at the Javits Center. How about that? She got in there. What a lucky duck. And I told you the story. I was given a number by Arthur Levy, a.k.a. Mr. Prince. Arthur said, you're having trouble, here's a number to call, and they'll call you back. So after a lot of banter back and forth with this person on the other line who seemed to be surrounded by little kids in her apartment, she said, okay, I got something at the Javits Center. How about, Feb 20th? No, sorry, it's gone. Okay, I got March 5th. No, sorry, someone took it. I said, just take anything. Just whatever you can grab, okay? I'll move stuff around. March 30th. I got March 30th. I took it. That's about 5 weeks away, a little bit more. It seems like an eternity. Caroline, on the other hand, I gave her that number. She called at 9:30 that night. And they said, we'll give you February 20th today. I'll take it. She took it. And now she's going to get her second shot after going up there, I think, on March 13th. So she'll have had both of them before I get my first one. Ain't life unfair? What am I going to do? Oh, well. I'm doing fine. Now, it's cold out, but here we go. This is my neighborhood. They're busy as bees. Not. There's no one stirring out there, but occasional car rumbling down Washington Street. And anyway, I enjoyed playing for you today. Thank you for tuning in. It's always a pleasure. You know, I hope this stuff with Feifei Young is going to come out in a big way. I got 2 albums of killer primo stuff, and we're working on that and working on all sorts of things. And this is like that shot in Vertigo, right? Okay, when they play the Love Death. Bernard Herrmann's version of Wagner's Love Death from Tristan and Isolde. It's one of the main themes. Whoops, I'm getting dizzy. All right, I'll see you on Tuesday. Have a wonderful weekend. Wear that mask. Love one another. Have fun with your clothes on and off. And I'll see you soon. Okay, bye.